Ubaid reports that the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be on him, said, "Blessed is he who is guided to Islam, whose livelihood is just sufficient, and he is contented therewith." Whose livelihood is just sufficient, and he is contented therewith. So could you kindly explain what just sufficient means?
Just sufficient means just sufficient.
Yes, I mean how it can be.
I mean, you know, when you make the two ends meet, all his requirements of life are fulfilled by that livelihood. Nothing is left for luxury.
So where we draw the line for luxury and the requirement?
Everybody's line is drawn differently. The circumstances of every society are different. Every individual living in that society are different. Needs and requirements vary in so many ways. Responsibilities vary. The burden on somebody's shoulder vary. His tastes, his way of life, his thinking, his social background, his upbringing, everything is a very factor. So how can I draw a line between billions and billions of possibilities? It's impossible. But if you understand normal terms, that there are different requirements and needs, and he knows better when he is able to fulfill it. This the needs are fulfilled, and he is contented. He is not ambitious. He is beyond guessing also all the time, burning his heart of what he does not have. This is what it means. He is blessed by Allah. Because content is a very great blessing of Allah. Content is a great blessing of Allah.
When Hadhrat Mirza Tahir Ahmed decided that his name should be withdrawn for re-election as a judge of the International Court of Justice in 1973, I wrote a letter to him and asked him whether the chances of his being re-elected were bright or not. He said they were. And then I asked, why have you withdrawn your name? So he wrote a Urdu verse, which I hope I'll be able to narrate correctly. It's from Bedil.
It is from
Bedil. His Qane nest, his Qane nest varna, his Qane nest Bedil varna asbabe jahan.
Is this Urdu verse?
No, sir. No, sir. I'll recite again. His Qane nest Bedil varna asbab. I'll recollect this. His Qane nest varna, his Qane nest Bedil varna asbab jahan. Aksarash darkar darin, harche ma darkar darin, aksarash darkar nest. Harche ma darkar darin, aksarash darkar nest. It's great difficulty. I decided this in Persian.
I think it's less difficult to translate.
All right, so I will translate in Urdu, sir, or in English? In English. It is really the greed which can never be satisfied. Whatever one believes one needs, in fact, is not correct. One's needs are strictly limited and very few. I believe Huzur Chaudhry Zafar Sahab understood the import of this. That's why I gave up.
Any other question, please? Yes, Dr. Mujibul Haq Sahib.
Sir, very respectfully, I seek clarification regarding the ethics of prayer, offering the prayer.
Clarification or clarification?
Clarification, just for my sake. Sir, if we say, let's say, make intent or niyat, as we call it, to say nafl, and during the act of saying this nafl, I remember that I had to say the sunnah as well. Now, can I, sir, change my intent during that, or have to?
No, it's not possible. You finish your nafl and then say sunnah afterwards.
I see. Thank you.
Like a bullet fired, you can't change it halfway in the halfway flight. Yes, Malik Sahib, another Malik Sahib, but a different type of Malik.
When Anna sallallahu alayhi wa sallam defined the term riba, he mentioned 5 commodities like barley, wheat, dates, gold and silver.
Did you ask this specifically in the law?
I don't think that would. Things.
If I'm right, I remember further, please proceed further.
And he mentioned these commodities and he said as far as barter trade is concerned in these commodities, we should stick to fulfill 2 conditions. And he said in Arabic, masalan, masalan, yadan, yadan. Otherwise, such a topic. So, I would like to ask the question is that according to the face value of this hadith, there are certain practices in Pakistan or anywhere which according to the normal economic moral standard they are perfectly conceivable. But according to the hadith,
well, yes, you're right. I think this question was not asked. I understand it. Another question pertaining this about definition of riba was asked, but this will end up in the same, in fact. Hadhrat sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has prohibited this as riba, declaring it to be riba, which means usury. The type of usury which is mentioned in the Holy Quran, which is forbidden for Muslims to indulge in, is a word of very wide application. And every act which contains the spirit of usury is also forbidden. And the spirit of usury, which has been described in the Holy Quran, is exploitation of the poor. So it is not just a fixed way of exploitation when you deposit some money with somebody, simply some bank, and take interest on a certain rate, on a certain percentage. Or you give money to a poor person and charge him. It is not just that. Exploitation in any way of a person who is of necessity bound to accept your unequal terms. So some usury was also practiced in Arabia in those days in this form, and the same is practiced in slightly different form in our countries even today. In Sindh, for instance, at the time of the cotton crop or the wheat crop, this usury is practiced. It's given a different name. So when the farmer is in need of money,